And welcome back to another episode of the Real Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Jacob O'Connor. Real Conversations is a podcast for those dedicated to doing hard things and living a meaningful life. Back on this version of the Q&A life update series, my business partner, my roommate, my former college and Amarillo basketball teammate, my high school basketball teammate, my AAU basketball teammate, and probably a handful of other titles, John Peterson.
Indeed. We're back. We're doing it. We're doing it again.
This is a take 3. Moose attempted to be in the first 2. We gave him a shot and he blew it.
Yep, blew it. We just can't have it.
Nope.
It's unprofessional, really.
Because we're bringing the heat this episode.
Bringing the heat.
I told you we're coming out hot. I can feel it. We've got a lot of momentum. We just came off our biggest day of sales yet, and also our biggest week of sales, coinciding both together. And I can feel the momentum, man. It's pretty real.
Yeah, it is real. If anybody doesn't know, last week was Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take your mother out for brunch, thank you. If you don't, everybody else does. That's like the Super Bowl for us in the restaurant industry, especially brunch, across the brand, across the United States. I mean, everybody's taking their mom out for brunch.
Probably across the world, man.
Probably.
We had 514 people come into the restaurant on Sunday, and it was absolutely brutal in the most beautiful way possible.
Indeed. Yeah, we got slammed, which is good. But I think the team came together really well.
Yeah.
And so we were understaffed just a little bit. Going to do better the next time. We're going to be more efficient.
Yeah.
Be more prepared, but we just didn't quite know.
Well, shout out to Rodrigo, John's friend. He actually jumped in and started working for us unpaid just to help.
Yeah. Shout out Rodrigo. Honestly, that was a huge help.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. But man, what a crazy, I mean, we've been trying to do this every month. We've missed a couple of months just because that's how it goes sometimes. But we're almost 8 months in business now. And I mean, there's been so many unknowns and so many things going on. And like, I just feel like we're really in a good direction, a good headspace. Like I just feel like we're in this alignment, this flow really.
Yeah. I was talking to you the other day about this. I feel like we're in a good rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Rhythm's a good word.
We're just, everything's just flowing. We're getting better, faster, I think. The people that we're bringing in, there's always turnover in the restaurant, especially back of house. And the people that we're bringing in, they're catching on very quickly. I think our hiring process has gotten better, so that learning curve has shortened quite a bit. And I do feel good about where we're at. And kind of, we do have staffing to get worked on, because there's some positions that we haven't been able to fill quite up to this point in ways that we want to. But yeah, things are going well.
Always room for growth. But as we talked about before, we're going to do more of the small talk catch up at the end. We're going to get straight into the questions here that you guys sent. Again, if you guys want to text me, email me, you can, usually I'll do like a Q&A little text box on Instagram. You can put them there and I'll just keep a running list for the next episode that we do this in. But this is something I think John and I will do in perpetuity, just because it's always cool to reflect on it. But today we've got 3 questions. And the first one I'm going to start with is, in your own words, what is your definition of greatness?
So I thought about this a little bit because I knew the question beforehand.
We've started prepping, which is different. Before, I used to just give them to you on the spot, and then I realized we'd probably have a better conversation if we all got to think about them.
Yeah, definitely. It would take me like 20 seconds to think about it, and then you'd have to cut it out. But I think greatness is I love thinking about this question because you can take it so many different places, right? You could talk about greatness being a legacy, right? Or how people see you in the present day. I think greatness for me is all of the above. I think being a person that people want to be around, and they respect, and that they see you're doing things that normal people don't do. I think that's greatness. I think if you're succeeding in your own field, or you're working on something, you're looking towards goals. It doesn't have to be completed goals.
Yeah,
it's just progress. I think is more. Incremental progress is more important than like a success of a goal.
Right.
So
I completely agree with you. Where I was going to start was, you always hear like you're in the presence of greatness. Like that's kind of something, and it's this idea of presence, it's an energy. It's, you're not seeing all the work they're doing outside of it, right? Like when Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan were playing basketball and they're in the gym 24/7 and they're by themselves. You're not seeing that unseen work, but they show up with such a confidence and such an energy that when it's game time or when it's with a business person, you walk into a meeting. Like you and I met Sal Frisella whenever I did the interview with them. And in my opinion, like when he walked in the room, you felt the energy. Like, And I would call that greatness, honestly. Like, he had so much confidence if we were meeting each other for the first time. And that's honestly what popped in my mind whenever they sent that question, is like, greatness is, it's an energy, it's a presence that comes from the accumulation of work, both seen and unseen. It's the way you carry yourself, and then like the actual effort and the things you've done to back that up.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I think, excuse me. Yeah. I think it's such a broad term. That was a good way to put it, with the energy. So yeah.
I just think it's cool like that. I mean, I strive for that. It's like, I don't want to be great to be known. Like, I'm not trying to be known, but when I walk into a room, I want people to feel like, oh, I'm in the presence of someone who is working as hard as they can at a craft, like someone who is trying to chase their potential. You know, like I think greatness can, like, if you're thinking about it in terms of yourself, you could put this ego spin on it. And I think that that's not the way that I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to think about it as like, I want people to know that I'm in pursuit of my fullest potential. And I want them to feel that. Hey guys, Jacob here. Real quick before we get back to the episode, I just want to take a quick second and say, if you guys are enjoying this episode, please make sure to share the link with a friend. You may have noticed I don't run any ads in the podcast. In fact, I don't make any money off the podcast. It's quite the contrary. Over the past 5 years, I've invested a lot of time, money, and effort into the growth of the show, trying to continually upgrade the equipment, bring on better guests, and just improve the overall quality of the podcast. So if you guys are enjoying this episode, or if you enjoyed previous episodes, please share the link with a friend. Sending it to 1 or 2 people makes a huge difference for me on the back end. As always, I appreciate your guys' support. Let's get back into the episode.
So I guess, does that flow into a legacy then? If you know, when people think about you and they think about greatness after you've passed or whatever, long in the past, it's probably a lot of what you make them feel in that moment.
Yeah.
It's not so much, okay, you know, what they built, obviously that plays a part, but it's like, how did they make me feel when I met them? When I was in a meeting with them, how did that make me feel? Yeah.
Well, again, like, so we had in the presence of greatness, and then legacy is definitely a component, because the other saying is he was one of the greats. And that's like a past tense way to view greatness. And in my opinion, like, when they're talking about one of the greats, like if you're watching a good documentary on an athlete, just keep using that analogy, they always highlight like a story or an experience where it was an isolated event with that person. It was Dean Smith talking to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said that, you know, I'm practicing just as hard as everyone. And Dean Smith said, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you told me that you wanted to be the best ever. And he said, I'm going to show you. Like, that's an example of greatness. And it's from that one-on-one interaction. Like, I love where you took that.
Yeah. It's amazing. I love that question too, because it's not one you think about every day.
Yeah. These types of conversations are always so fun. And the next one is actually pretty well related to it.
Kind of flows right in.
Yeah, we'll just flow into it. What's been the biggest mindset shift you've had since opening the restaurant? Something that's changed how you approach business, personal health, and relationships?
So I think the mindset that has changed most for me is probably interaction with employees. I think we didn't really know what to expect at the beginning when we opened the restaurant. It was, you know, do we act like friends? Do we act like bosses? We didn't really know what that meant. We've had bosses before, and maybe some unconventional bosses as well.
Shout out Rob Gerlach.
Shout out to a couple different folks. But I think that was a natural progression to where we are now, and I feel like we're in a good spot to where nobody doesn't like us being there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when we walk into the room, people aren't like, oh my gosh, John and Jacob are here.
They're not scared.
Yeah, they're not scared.
But they respect us.
Which I think is really, really huge. And so maybe that's not a mind shift necessarily. It's more of a mind morph, like an evolution into something else. But that was one that stuck out to me when I read the question.
Yeah. I mean, that was something that you and I talked about even before we opened, is like, how are we going to manage employees, which I hate that word. Like, we kind of refer to them as teammates.
Right.
How are we going to manage them when they're older and or more experienced than we are? And when they're the same age as us, like, how are we also going to manage that? So I feel like we have found a good structure to do that, where if we say something needs to be done, they're going to do it without a question. But we can also joke together. We can also have camaraderie and really that team environment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's things that you don't normally find in a restaurant industry. I mean, historically it's not a great place to work.
Yeah.
It's not a good environment.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we can definitely improve on and change.
Yeah, I mean, like we have cornhole that we put out front of the restaurant, and last week I grabbed one of our cooks. I was like, "Come play me." And I'm competitive. I love to play. I play with our kitchen manager. I play with you. I play with one of our regulars. Like that's just something that I like to do, and I don't feel like you usually get that. Is like, hey, let's come play a game in the middle of your shift. Like, let's just kind of keep it fun. Let's keep it light. Like everyone knows when they get a bunch of orders to come in that they need to grind and get it out, and it needs to be just right. But if we got a slow second, like let's find a way to have some fun. Like it's work. You don't need to hate it. You should enjoy it.
Exactly. You spend a lot of your time there.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
I would say the biggest mindset shift for myself has probably been, how do I want to word this? Like mine's been more internal. Like yours was external. How do I interact with people? And mine was more like what I keep thinking about in parallel, it's like the greatness conversation is when you don't feel like doing it, but you know you have to because people are counting on you, and you need to be able to count on yourself as well. It's like the amount of times where I haven't necessarily wanted to do something, but I've known that it was important. You just have to kind of force yourself to do it through the mundanity. Like that to me has been a big mindset shift because, I've done that before working plenty, but like this has been such a sprint for the last almost 2 years at this point that it's like this, I've never sustained this much effort for this long of a time period. And so that in itself has required a mindset shift of like how I view my relationship with work. And so it got really kind of daunting there for a moment where it was like, I felt a lot of like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. And it was overwhelming. And I think now like the shift has been how I view that and how I give myself like little moments of breaks. Like I've started to work out right after we close, and then I'll hop back on the computer, and doing something like that gives me energy, gives me flexibility. Like it allows me a short break to where my mind itself can like calm down for a moment, take a breath, and then get right back in. Like it's still the same amount of work. Arguably, I might be doing even more now, but it's like the way I've viewed these things has changed.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of on that same line. I feel like nobody's asking you to do these things either. So for me, that was not a big shift because we've done this in the past, but It was like, if I don't do it today, what is it?
Yeah.
I can do it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it just piles up at that point. It just backlogs everything because there's new problems every single day.
Yeah. Well, what I think is cool is like, I feel like you and I are also in probably the best rhythm we've been in since we opened with like with how we're working with each other and finally having a little bit of division of roles, but also like working together. Like it was really cool last night. I was working out a spreadsheet at like, I don't know, 8:30, almost 9 probably. And I texted you that I was running into an issue with the spreadsheet, and I saw your icon pop up on the spreadsheet like 2 minutes later. It's like, how great is it to know that I can send a text and you're right there with me? Like we're both doing it together. Like that was a really cool moment, even though it was a small thing.
Yeah. No, it's important. It's important. And that's what we're in for. I mean, realistically.
Yeah.
We're in it for the long haul. So You have to.
Yeah. I also want to give a big shout out to Andy Frisella. I've gone back and started listening to his original podcast, MF CEO, and then his new one called Real AF. But he's got a lot of good practical takeaways of things you can actually do to integrate into like systems for yourself to get more done throughout the day. And he has something called the power list, where the basic idea is people make this big to-do list, and then they might have 13 things on it and they get 4 done. And they're like, wow, I'm terrible. I got less than 50% done. I'm just wasting my time. I'm not making any progress. And then because of that, they're less effective. They feel worse about themselves. And there's just like a whole host of reasons why like that's kind of overwhelming. And so his basic idea is for the last 20 years, he's woken up every morning. He said, what's 5 things that if I got done today, they would move the needle forward in a critical and important manner. And so it's just 5 things. And what that does is it's much more manageable than having a list of 20 items that will overwhelm you and then you'll feel bad for not getting them all done. And so even those 5 things they could take all day, or they could take 4 hours. Like you never know. That's part of the difficulty of having work is like you and I working on a spreadsheet for 4 hours this morning because we ran into an error with it. Like you never know how much that work could expand or contract. And so you get your 5 items done and it's 1 p.m., then like that's almost like I've won the day. Like you write the W at the top of the page. And for me being a competitive person, it's like I want to get all 5 done so I can write a W. And then the idea is like, if it's been a month and you're like, I'm not making any progress, my life sucks, like I'm not going where I want to go, you can look back into your notebook and you can count up how many W's and how many L's you have. And you can identify, well, have I been doing what I need to do to move the needle forward? And if the answer is no, then you only have yourself to blame. But if you got all these W's at the top of the page, then you do have momentum. You just need to take a second step back and realize it. And so it's really cool because like, you get 5 things done, you feel good about it. You can still keep going and do 10. Like that's totally fine. But like, it almost gives yourself permission of like, hey, you did good. Like no matter what else happens for the rest of the day, like you should feel good about these 5 things that you did move forward.
It's the small wins.
Yeah. The small wins. Yeah.
The small wins. 100%. 100%. I like that so much. Yeah, I need to start implementing that probably. But I love having lists. I'm a list guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to get these things done today. And the most important at the top.
Yeah.
I think it's so important.
Well, I used to sit there and procrastinate a lot more. Like, because that was the frustrating part is like, I would make a master to-do list for the week. And I'm like, well, where do I start? This, then that. I get pulled in so many different directions. And this has actually increased my focus substantially because I'm such a type A person where it's like, I want to cross it off. I want to be 5 for 5. I want to write the W at the top of the page, where it's been so much easier to not get distracted by other items on the big overall to-do list because I want to get those 5 done. And that's probably just my personality, but I've been doing it for the last 9 days and I can't believe I didn't do it earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out Andy.
Shout out Andy.
Shout out Andy.
He was on the podcast a couple years ago. I don't remember what episode, but you should go listen to it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Are you feeling the Alpha GPC at all? Or is that?
No.
Not
really at all.
Okay.
Are you?
I don't know if it's placebo. So, caffeine is something that I've been looking at a lot, and I've dramatically decreased my caffeine intake from a cup of coffee and an energy drink every day to half a cup to 1 cup of coffee is what I'll do for the entire day. And so in the afternoon, like usually you have kind of an energy drag that'll happen just as a consequence of eating food and just being overall tired. So I've been trying to look at like, well, what else can I do to keep my energy high without like it being artificial or it being something that's unhealthy like sugar or over consuming caffeine. And the 2 things I've started doing are drinking electrolytes in the afternoon, which definitely helps. And the other one that I heard about is a supplement called Alpha GPC. It's in the category of nootropics, which is like a cognitive brain kind of function. And it's just supposed to help you focus and it's supposed to activate like the stuff that I guess just helps you focus and helps your brain work. I don't know. I'm not the right guy to talk about it, but I got it.
It's like, let's break this down.
I got it like a week ago and I've been doing it in the afternoons. I don't know if it's the placebo, meaning like I think it's working, so it does, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or if it actually is. Who knows, but I've liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I took one before the episode. I don't really feel any different, I would say. Not for when I started. I had lunch before this, so it's probably maybe it's counteracting that sandwich I had right now.
It's sitting there trying to fight its way through the carbs.
It's like, oh my gosh.
It's like, yo, man, I can't get through.
But no, I've heard a lot about these GLP-1s?
Alpha GPC.
GPC?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of GLP-1s? Isn't that something else?
It is.
Maybe it's the greens.
That could be it.
It could be the greens.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I don't know.
Is this in the same category as Alpha Brain? I've heard of Alpha Brain is the same kind of deal.
Yeah, they're both nootropics.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I never understand what people mean when they say nootropics.
Well,
just like a cognitive.
Yeah, especially a cognitive aid. Let's define nootropic.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be actually really good because people talk about it all the time. They're like, you should be getting your nootropics in. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Is it a vitamin?
So nootropics, also known as smart drugs, are substances that may improve cognitive functions such as memory, learning, and concentration. They can come in the form of dietary supplements, I don't even know how to say that, or energy drinks.
Huh.
So caffeine is technically a nootropic.
Interesting.
But I've been looking for non-caffeinated forms of nootropics.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you think about caffeine, it just blocks your tired receptors.
Yeah, that's 100% what it does.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So anyways, third question is, what is your 10-year dream?
10-year dream. Yeah. I was thinking about this too. I like to think about this when I'm in the sauna. It gives me kind of like
for 3 hours.
Yeah, dude, I love it. It's like 30 minutes of just deep thought. And And so that's where I do a lot of my good thinking.
Hey, I'm going to pause you real quick
Yeah.
there. So you posted on your Instagram story that you were in the sauna, and I was walking out of the locker room, and I had pulled it up on my phone, and Bailey was waiting for me to go lift, and I flipped it over to show her, and I was like, I think John was in the sauna earlier, and she already had her phone flipped. We both looked at your story at the exact same time, and she was about to tell me, like, hey, is John here? And I was like, let me go check. So I walked into the sauna, and there you are, just dying in there.
I was dying. I was in fact dying. I think I was in there for 35 minutes or something like that. It was
At 200.
Yeah, it was a brutal sauna session, but much needed, definitely. A lot of thinking going on. But there's another sidetrack. There's a certain point in the sauna where you just hit like a flow state.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're just like, your mind just starts running. I don't know if it's like a fight or flight situation where your mind just tries to get off of the heat and I want to get out.
Yeah.
But I do find that, and it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. I guess depending on how acclimated you are. For me, because I have not been saunaing for a very long duration anymore, been more frequency. It's like the 8 to 15 minute mark, the 8 to 14 minute mark. I feel like I'm in a good flow.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good. What was the question? Sorry. I totally forgot.
10-year dream.
Oh, 10-year dream. Yeah. So, business wise, definitely want to still be, if we were working together in 10 years, that'd be freaking awesome. Just building something massive, whether that's in the restaurant space or not. I hope I'm not working, for somebody. I hope we're building and grinding it out still just like we are today. Obviously, different demographics in that space. Hopefully there's, I'd like to have kids in 10 years and kind of have a family going and stuff like that. And a dog and a house and stuff like that. But definitely building, grinding, not taking my foot off the gas.
Yeah. You can get a lot done in 10 years. And that's a decade.
Lot. Yeah.
And you'll be 34 and I'll be 33, and that's still pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if we went bankrupt tomorrow, we would be out of the bankruptcy. It would be off of our record by that point.
You always bring up this bankruptcy thing. I understand. Like, I think I probably even told you this because my episode with Ryan Smith, where that was his stated goal was to go bankrupt by 30. And he ended up making like $800 million or something as a consequence of that mindset.
Yeah, he was unsuccessful.
It's probably my own fault for bringing that up, but I have not enjoyed that mindset.
Hey, it's just 7 years. It's just on your record for 7 years, your credit report, then you can start building after that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't plan on going bankrupt, but, if it happens, it happens.
Well, you're using it as kind of like a worst case scenario, so you're mitigating the downsides so that you're not afraid to take action. Like, I get why you're doing it. It makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think it's great for a 10-year goal. Your comment of hopefully not working for someone else, I think that's something that we could spend a second on. Like, we've had opportunities to effectively go work for someone else, making a lot of money. Like, that's come as a consequence of us working through the restaurant and us sharing and documenting all of this. We've gotten to meet a lot of great people and form great relationships. And we've had a couple of offers to go do things and basically work for someone else, but make a lot more money and to live a different life. And we value what we're doing so much that even though we haven't gotten to really see the fruits of our labor yet, we believe they're there in the future. Like you're talking 10 years from now, and we've turned those down. And I think that's not as easy as some people may think. I think that's kind of commendable.
Yeah. It's definitely sacrificial.
Yeah.
You're sacrificing comfort now for potential gain in the future.
Yeah. Because I've mentioned that I think I mentioned it to Evan or someone, and they're like, well, I mean, it seems like an incredible opportunity. And it's like, yeah, but it wouldn't be building my own thing. I'd be building someone else's dream. And that's fine if you fall into that category. That's not what you or I want, I don't think. And so to actually have like the opportunity to turn that down, it kind of gives me confidence, honestly. Like it really does when I think about that.
Yeah. And I think it says something about just us as people too. Just our confidence, our willingness, our drive. I don't know.
Yeah. 10 years from now, I want to keep building. Like you were saying, restaurants hopefully are an avenue for cash flow for us to where we can continue to just grow our company as a whole. Like you and I are both very interested in real estate, so I'd love to get into commercial real estate during that as well. Fully intend to be doing the podcast in 10 years. I mean, that would be like 16 years worth of podcasting at that point. So that would be crazy.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
520 episodes in 10 years.
It'd be a lot of episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of episodes.
Which would put me close to 1,000 at that point.
Yeah.
It'd be like 850 or something. But yeah, I just want to keep building everything. Like the podcast, it'd be cool to incorporate the family farm and OC Farms Honey into my growth plans for the next 10 years, to keep opening more restaurants and more concepts, to own real estate. Like we're trying to build something big here. I don't think you can put it in a clearly defined category. It's just kind of, you and I have like a rough thesis that we don't have the words to explain right now, but we both kind of know what it is. And just allowing that compounding, like you're talking about that incremental progress, like just continuing to keep our heads down, evaluate opportunities as they come, be willing to be bold when we see the right opportunity present itself, and then just see where that takes you in 10 years. Like wherever it takes us, we want it to be big. That's why we're doing these things now.
Yeah. And I know we're going to be more risk averse in 10 years.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
So
yeah, we don't have a wife or kids or anything right now to worry about.
Get our risk out right now.
Yeah. Oh, I'd definitely like to be married and have kids as well. That's 10 years from now, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
you seem like a cat guy, so.
I hate cats. Those things have zero loyalty. I mean, you could be petting them 1 second and then they'll decide to scratch or bite you. And it's just like, who hurt you? Like, what is your problem?
I don't know. I'm not a cat guy either.
No, I question people that are cat people.
Dogs are the way to go. Shout out Quinn Robertson.
Quinn likes cats?
He's a cat guy.
Oh, yeah?
I think. I don't know.
That's rough, Quinn. I'll judge him a little bit more because of that.
It's okay.
Yeah. So that's the 3 questions that we had. You guys can send more next time. And we can do a little bit of banter right here. Like this is probably our last podcast in this house.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we move out next week.
Isn't that crazy?
It's been a year. It's been 13 months here, actually. So, yeah, it's been crazy. We should go back and look at the first episode we did here.
The first episode that I did here was SB mowing in the living room, no furniture.
That's right. I do remember that.
It's really cool because I got the picture on my Instagram where it faces into the kitchen.
Yeah.
There's 0 in here.
Yeah. It's evolved.
In fact, I had to borrow, shout out Rob Gerlach and Rachel Thompson. Rachel Gerlach's married now. Anyways, shout out Rachel Gerlach. I had to borrow her kitchen table so that I had somewhere to put the mics to interview Spencer.
I do remember that.
Because we didn't have any furniture.
Yeah.
I literally had to get a truck, I think Brennan's truck, shout out Brennan, and drive the table here.
Brennan, we're coming for you. We need that truck again.
Well, yeah, we got to move again. There's 3 of us.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
What a fun 13 months, exciting chapter. It coincided with building out the restaurant, getting the restaurant open. And this really is like the next chapter. Like, we're hoping there's a number 2 restaurant in the future. We're literally moving right now. Like,
yeah,
this is the next chapter, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's like we're closing the book on this one and opening a new one.
I know.
It's kind of scary.
It's weird. I know that you have this infatuation with time, but dude, it's flying.
I know. I don't even want to get into it. Time is just a construct. This is something we've made up. But yeah, no, it's been crazy. But you can't open a new chapter until you've closed the other one. So
that was deep.
I know. I've been thinking about that for a while too.
This next chapter, we're probably going to mature a lot, which is scary.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of growing up to do.
We definitely matured a lot the last time because we didn't have anyone relying on us. And now we have people relying on us.
Mm-hmm.
And then that responsibility only is going to grow as our company grows too.
Yeah. You know what I think has been interesting throughout this whole 8 months as I look back is our optimism. I feel like our optimism hasn't really wavered.
No.
And
we've had moments, but
we've had moments for sure, but I feel like we're always like, yeah, we're just going to get better.
Yeah.
It's a rough patch maybe, but we're just going to get better.
Yeah. Well, we had a mentor of ours send us kind of like a list of questions to go over. And one of them was like, what assumption did you make about the restaurant that you proved right? And for me, my assumption was our learning curve. I underwrote our learning curve. I said, John and I know nothing about restaurants. When we started, we knew nothing about restaurants, how to operate them, how to make them profitable, how to do any of that. But my assumption was that we were going to just figure it out. And that was pure optimism. And we've done that. I mean, we're not the best in the world, but we've done a pretty darn good job for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a clear form of optimism. And I think we've maintained that. It's just if we can do that, then we can probably figure out most things.
Yeah. They say restaurant industry is the hardest thing to succeed in. I don't want to say we're success.
Yeah.
We're definitely far from that as of this point, because I think I think we need about 3 years under our belt before the statistics start going in our direction. But
Yeah.
I feel like we've done a good job.
Well, and we don't completely hate our lives and, we haven't put on 100 pounds. Like, we're in pretty good shape for all the stress and stuff we have going on. And I would say we're living a pretty darn good life with all that going on too.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing all right.
Like, we found this cool way to integrate everything together.
Yeah.
Like relationships, health, fitness, mentorship, family, business. Like, I feel like we've done a really good job of focusing on all of those at once.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird melding of everything going on, but it's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been nice for sure.
Okay. Well, do you have any other topics or anything?
No, I was trying to think of what else is going on right now.
We're upping our marketing Another Broken Egg. We've taken our eye off the ball for the first 6 or 7 months, and I've now got a little bit of room to make some more content and put out some fun stuff. And I'm also going to do a lot of that with my personal brand as well to just try and grow that in conjunction, because I think that'll help the restaurant overall. So keep an eye out for more posts at ABEC, ABEC_ICT. I hate that Instagram handle. And then at Jacob O'Connor. And then don't even try and find John's Instagram. He's probably just going to delete it.
It's private. So, I mean, you could try to go follow me, but if I don't know you, I probably won't accept it, to be honest.
If you do know him, he probably doesn't like you, so you won't accept it either.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
It's a very niche group.
Go follow me on LinkedIn, though.
Big LinkedIn Peterson guy.
Yeah, just follow me on LinkedIn. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me, probably, if you don't know me.
Yeah.
So
I'll put John's new home address in there as well if you want to send him fan mail.
Yeah, you could show up at the door, hang out. I love it.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you guys next month.
All righty. Peace.
Sayonara.